What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. Welcome to another edition of Ask Coach Tony Anything. Today is July 28th, the last Monday of July. Oh, man, 7 months has gone by. That's crazy. So we're on the second half of the year now. Super excited for everyone who is here live, where we host these live every Monday. If you're watching the replay, hello from the past. So every single, not actually, we changed it. So it used to be every single Monday, but we are changing the schedule a little bit just because now at this time we're approaching heavy editing season for our students. So I may not be doing it as often because we got to help our students with their essays as well too. So we're reducing this to once a month as well too. So be on the lookout for the next time we host it. It won't be next week, by the way. So I had spoilers. Won't be next week. Just to give a heads up for you guys there. But on these sessions, what we do, we go ahead and just answer your questions here. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and drop it to egelloC.com/askcoachtony. And then what we do is we just I just ramble. I ramble and riff and just answer questions for you guys here so we can kind of have some fun as well. So let's go ahead and dive straight in to the first question over here. What is the best way to prepare for 10th grade? So I'm gonna answer this a few ways because I'm not gonna mention the context, right? But the best way to prepare for any grade, usually there's three core areas to make sure, right? The academics, the activities, and the application itself. Well, I'm gonna put under this, I'm gonna put it under the college and college plus majors as well too. Okay. So when it comes to the academics, right? The big thing going in is making sure your rigor is set up correctly as well too. What does that mean, right? So this will depend on your college, right? So what colleges are you aiming for the student whoever's asked this question as well too? So if you're aiming for top schools, right? If you're aiming for top colleges, right? Our goal is to max out rigor relative to the top student at your class, at your school, as your class as well too, right? In your class, not at your class, in your class as well. So let's say, for example, if someone's taking two APs in 10th grade, right? And we're aiming for like top 25 colleges, right? Then we want to match, right, two APs for us as well, right? So that's kind of the strategy. You want to aim for the school that you're kind of try to get into is the key over here, right? Is that first one. Another way though, little tip though, pro tip, right? You want to match rigor, right? Which means you can supplement AP level courses, right? With semester long dual enrollment courses. These are college level courses at like local community college. We have a bunch of trainings lists. If you need that, let me know. I can either answer it or we can kind of send you guys the information on this as well too. But I think that's gonna be the big thing here. Okay, so that's the first one here. The second one is activities, right? So when it comes to activities, our goal is to aim for that 20 plus hours per week mark, right? What that means is that for when it comes to activities, we like to focus more on the hours spent per week rather than the thing itself. The thing comes naturally. The hours is what you want to metric and kind of measure as well too, right? So 20 plus hours a week is typically what, 3 hours a day, right? 3-ish hours per day. It's usually how it is, right? And then when it comes to 3 hours, there's two buckets of activities you guys want to spend your time doing. The first bucket, I call it tasting your major, right? So basically, there's little teasers into like, again, down here with the application itself, right? I call it want to taste your major, right? So what that is that you want to do things, right? Activities that allow you to experience your major, right? So let's say you're interested in engineering, you do robotics or like what's that group? Tip of my tongue, that competition. Completely forgot. Brain fart. Complete. That's all it's here, right? But if you're like a medical student, HOSA is a pretty cool club to do. Volunteering somewhere, right? The thing itself doesn't matter, right? So the thing itself, the activity itself itself doesn't matter as much, right? So don't worry so much about like you getting a certain thing. Can you? You can, right? Not saying you can do it, you can, but the focus should stay a lot on the thing itself should focus a lot on specifically tasting your major is the first piece of this, right? And then the second bucket is things that interest the student, right? Interest the student as well too, right? That's not major related, right? So let's say if you're interested in sports, keep doing sports. If you're interested in an ASB, do ASB. Whatever a thing is, definitely do that as well too, because this will allow the student to talk about this in their essays later on, right? Later on as well too. And it helps them allow do things they enjoy, easy hours to hit as well too. So those are the two buckets that I would say that you do. So again, if you're missing any of this stuff, I will start like exploring, right? And doing as well too. And if it changes, okay. Keep in mind, right? Pro tip over here, right? Or know that it's 100% okay. It's 100% okay to change your mind and change your activities, right? Activities over the 4 years of high school. 4 years of high school as well too. You don't have to like be locked in officially yet. Okay, so that's gonna be the big thing over here as the first piece, right? Is the best way to prepare for 10th grade. So hopefully that answered that question for you guys. I am going live as well too, so I'm gonna see over here in Zoom. Any people have any questions over here in Zoom as well too? So is it too late? Submit? No, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We can answer it as well too. Someone dropped a question. Where in the UC apps do the internships, research experience, or certifications go, right? So in the UC application, right, you put this all of these, right, in the activities section, right? And under activities, right, there are 6 drop downs that you classify every activity as, right? Or every activity as one of those, right? So one of them is going to be called the easy one, extracurricular activities. One is going to be called volunteering, community service. One is going to be called other coursework. Another one's going to be educational prep programs. Another one is going to be awards or honors. And last one is work experience, right? So these are the 6 categories. So any activity you add, you put it under one of these categories itself, okay, is the key. So you put it under one of these 6 areas, and then you're good to go. There is no right, wrong to put any activity under, right? Activity under, right? Is the key. So if you feel something is a is a educational prep, it's an educational prep. It's kind of how it's self-reported, right? This is self-reported is the difference. Okay. So that's the thing there. To answer your questions though, right? Internships usually, right? Usually right? Internships, I will put under work experience. The UCs even tell you put internships paid or unpaid under work experience itself. Next one, research. You can put that under extracurriculars. What else can I fall under? That's pretty much it, right? Work experience, you got paid as well too. Maybe work, extracurriculars, maybe work, right? If it's stuff. To kind of, and then last one you mentioned certifications, right? That can go under other coursework as well too. That's usually where I would put it. Also, if you run out of space, right? Oops. If you run out of space, you can also put these in the additional comments section. There's a section at the very, very bottom where you can put all these extra things that doesn't fit. Again, only do it if you max out your first 20 slots first. If you haven't maxed out 20 spots, max that out first, then do the other ones afterwards. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful here. Next question here. For schools like LMU and USC, do we need financial aid? Let me double check really quick to make sure as well. These schools require CSS. All right, but quick answer though is through here is that you will use FAFSA for every school, right? No matter what. So use FAFSA for every single school itself. FAFSA is the application, right? And you fill it out. It opens in October. You fill it out, right? And then you send it to, and you add your list of colleges to it. I think it's 10, right? You have 10 schools that you can add to the list. If let's say you have more than 10, you send your first 10 first, you wait like 2 weeks, and then you call a school and say, hey, did you receive my FastPod? They say, yep. Then you can delete the schools and add another one. This is an app. An app you use to send off stuff, right? That's pretty much it, right? So FastPod gets sent out to the school. So every school, public, private, they all use FastPod as number one, right? But the other form that you are doing, and I just looked up, is that some schools, right? Some colleges may also require the CSS profile, right? As well too. So CSS profile is a private. Think of it as a private file. So you pay for the submissions in CSS, right? And it helps you. It's some people just qualify. So this is more financial information. Is the thing as well too. Okay, so that's gonna be the information here. So definitely do that. So from your list, by the way, your list, I believe USC requires CSS. CSS requires CSS, but LMU does not. Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind as well too. Just look it up. School CSS profile required, yes or no, and they'll let you know as well too. So you do if they do require it, you do both. Okay, that is that. Next up, how to list. Let's see what questions came first. How to list some webinars and in-person trainings and some volunteer. They were one time, but they align with the major. Do I list them separately or together as one activity? So you could do either, right? Could do either option, right? So you could list them one by one, and you share for each activity, right? For each activity, share the name plus I call it the blurb, the description, right? It's why the description for it. You have like 350 characters usually, right? 250 to 350 characters to share in this category over here. So definitely make sure you guys do that is the key, right? So list them on one, share name blurb over here. Okay. Or where's my mouse? Or right, you could put it under one area if you don't have a lot to talk about for each thing, but want to combine them into one section, right? So just one thing, talk about all of it. You can do that as well too. So basically, it's because I think I'd ask you, how much do you have to talk about? Like, do you have to talk about each thing? Talk about the things for each one, right? And a little pro tip here. Pro tip, right? When it comes to the blurbs, right? The blurbs itself, right? For the blurbs, right? You want to use, we call it verb context metrics, meaning you want to use an action verb, the context and the metrics are numbers, right? So if you say, I want to race, right, example, right? I want to race versus, right? Won second place in a race versus won second place out of 10,000 people, 10 place, 10,000 folks in international race, right? So now, right, each three gives me different context, different metrics as well too. So that's something to consider for the reader to understand what's going on. Okay, so that's gonna be this section over here. Hope that was helpful. Next, what should be the balance? I'm doing more Zoom because there's a bunch of Zooms today. What should it be the balance between activities for tasting major other interests, right? So to reference back, I mentioned that for activities, you should do about tasting major interests as well too. I would say there's no magical ratio. There's no magical ratio, but 50-50 is usually what a lot of students do, right? If you enjoy your major more, right, then you'll see major will over interest as well too. If less opportunities for your major, then major will over interest here, right? So there's no all of these work, right? The key though is that just focus on doing both all the time is the key, right? However, you want to talk about it there. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful here. All right. Let's go back here. Next one. I'm trying to finalize my list and try to decide what I'm going to EA or ED for any of my schools. Great question. So for seniors, this is applying to you guys, right? So for context, EA is early action. Apply early, find out early is a thing, right? Early ED is early decision. Apply early, find out early, and get locked in is the thing as well too, if accepted, right? Meaning if you get into your ED school, you're guaranteed admissions. Oh, you are like committed, legally committing to go to that school, right? That's why you can only ED to one campus out there. So, and then I would say that the strategy is if you've had a dream school since you were a child, or you were a child, right? And okay going, right? If they say yes, right, ED to this school. That's the highest likelihood of success. But the downside, you're guaranteed in, right? Keep in mind that you're automatically accepting whatever financial aid offer or lack of offer they offer you, right? Is the thing. So some schools may not offer you a lot of money, but because you ED, right, it's like a guaranteed like a locked in thing as well too. But we do encourage you to EA to as many schools as you can is the key. Because again, if you get in, you find out early and stress free, right? If you don't get in, right? If you don't get in, you are not rejected, right? What happens to your app? Your app gets deferred to the regular pool, right? So the regular pool in like December as well too. So that's the difference of the two things. So we do encourage you guys to ED to that one dream school. You don't have to, but keep on also right. You do not have to ED to any schools is the thing. So don't feel pressure to ED to one school. Only if you're like okay, if they tell me yes, I'm going, right? But if they don't tell you yes, I'm not going as well too. So that's the thing there. Okay. So that's that. So that was questions over here from Zoom. Can a teacher I had freshman year write my letter of recommendations if I have a teacher from junior write a second one if the freshman teacher helped me long-term extra good sophomore year? They can, right? They can as well too. So the person recommended could be for anything, right? The only thing keep in mind that some colleges may ask for certain types, so ask for letters of recs from certain people. Some schools would say, I want it from a math and English teacher. Then you're stuck. You have to give it to a math and English teacher, right? But if they don't give you restrictions, then you can ask anyone you want, right? As well too. So the answer is 100%, right? Keep in mind the pro tip here. Pro tip, right? Make sure the recommender, right, gives you a writes new information about you in their letter, right? The letter rec is not an area just to remind the readers of what they already know from the application. I think that's the big key. A lot of people just say the same things as their apps. I'm like, oh, I already know that, right? About you. So you don't need to justify anything to the readers. They just want to learn new information is the key here. Okay. Next one. Do one more from Zoom, and we'll jump back over to the pre-submit questions. What is the minimum APs expected for top UC? Is it okay that 5 APs will be taking senior year? I took 8 community courses, 3 APs, R's, all A's, right? So I'm assuming you did classes, right? So again, keep in mind that admissions is regional, right? So they will be compared. Your regional, right? Student will be compared against two groups, against your region and your high school as well too. Because again, if you told me you're doing five senior year and all this as well too, but your school has a lot more, then that's less, right? So you want to compare against the students. So it's also aiming for depends on the college. If you're aiming for a top school, if top school, right? We want to match the top student. If like mid tier, right? Mid tier want to match the mid tier student as well too. So that's the magic numbers. So every school is a little different depending on school and all that as well too. Okay, so that's gonna be the answer here. Okay. But again, it sounds like you are doing really well. So as that, keep in mind, don't burn out. It's my 2 cents. Don't burn out over here. Okay. All right, next one, pre-submitted. Once I have my college list, how do I start my supplemental essays? Great question as well too. So, finalize how to start my supplementals. It depends per school, right? So first, find out what the questions you need to answer first, right? So every school is different. Every college will ask for different things, right? There are a few questions that do come up often, right? For many schools, right? The two most popular ones is why us, why like college, right? Why us and why major as well too. In a little ad right now, little sponsored video right now, or sponsored message. For those who are watching this live, right? And if you watch the replay, it's probably out by then. But if you're watching this live, tomorrow, June July 29th, right? Our team is hosting a training. Our team is hosting a live training on writing the why us essay, right? Live. So our team will be actually showing you how they would write it out in real time. So you guys can see that as well too. Two of our top coaches, I think Coach Art might be there, but I know Coach Onaje, he's one of our top strategists as well too. He specializes in top Uber schools, Ivy level schools. He's from the East Coast as well too. So he's going to be helping our students with this. So if you guys can join that call tomorrow, it's at 6 p.m. I think 6 p.m. Pacific. If you guys need the link, let our team know. We can grab it for you. But he'll be doing a live training on how to do this if you guys are interested in that, right? So a lot of schools do ask for this. So keep in mind, it might be something that some supplements, but they might ask for more, right? They might ask for more, right? So first off, look up all the different categories as well too. Keep in mind that only their school will read their supplements, right? So if you followed how we've been teaching students how to write this, right? The process for writing your essays, we tell students step zero, right? Do not look at the prompts first, right? Step one, what we tell you to do first is write down your activities, experiences, and identities. That allows you to talk about who you are. Step two is you're gonna pick top four of these that define you as who you are today as well too. Step number three, identify, I call it story time, right? Each topic you picked, right? What's the story associated with that? Step four, dig deep, right? Tell me why that's so significant to you, why you do what you did, how has it made you who you are, who have you become as a result of this over here. And then step five, right? Pick the prompts. For the private schools, for the Common App schools, one of this, right? So for example, if personal statement, right? One of these four will become your personal statement, right? One of these four topics, right, will become your personal statement, right? The rest of them, right? Will be, the rest of them are options for your supplements, right? And the reason why we do it this way is that we know what we want the readers to understand and know about us. So we focus specifically on this to make sure we give them what they want. Does that make sense? That's kind of the big reason why that's important to keep in mind. Okay, so that's gonna be this over here. Yeah, so that's kind of answer the question over here. Okay, next one. All right, a few questions. I'm gonna try crank through a few on from Zoom over here. One, two, I'll do three. Three questions. Two, three. All right. Boom, boom. All right. Let's see. Is there a place to put shadow experience multiple doctors in healthcare? Yes, right? Yes. It depends on where you want to put it, right? I would say it can fit under like out of these categories, right? I'm assuming you meant UCs, whoever asked this question, right? If UC. If you see, right, you add in one of these sections, I think it can fit under extracurriculars. Extracurriculars. It can fit under technically volunteering that you're helping out, right? If you did help out, if you're not, you don't have to put that. It can fit in probably extracurriculars is probably the only one. Maybe that one, right? So extracurricular might be the only broad one that can fit. Again, but again, whatever works best, right? There's again, keep in mind, there's no there remember there's no right or wrong answer, right? Is the thing. It's how you define this on you is the key. Um, Next one in UC6 drop down, UC6 drop down activities. I'm assuming if I don't have enough awards, can I put extra volunteer things? Do I put honor? Is it redundant if it's the transcript? Do honor roll, UC award done. So keep in mind a few things, right? First one, right? You for activities, right? For activities, there are 20 slots. Are 20 slots of activities. So you do, I recommendation, right? Fill up as many of the 20 as possible is number one. Okay. So that's the first one. So again, if you don't have a lot of awards, that's okay, right? There are more things you can use to fill it up. It's not equal. It doesn't have to be equal. It's not like a set number. And Common App is different. Common App has a set number. But the UCs you can have a student who has more awards, a student have less awards, more volunteering, some student with less volunteering, more extracurriculars. It doesn't really matter as a reader. I'm just gonna try to learn who you are is the key. Okay. So that's gonna be the thing here. So that's that, right? Second one is it redundant? Keep in mind, honor roll is a school specific designation, right? Designation. Right? Readers do not see your transcript. We do see your classes and your grades that you self-report on the application itself, right? So if you did win a reward, go ahead and share that. If you don't, you're gonna have to do that as well too. Okay, so that's that. If you played a sport in junior year and won awards and not going to play senior, would you list it under any activity? Would you not? You would put it and won awards, not going to play. So I don't get the last part of the question, but basically, in the activities section, right, you can designate which years, right, or years you are earning that award, right? So if you won an award only for 11th grade, right, select 11th. If you won an award 9th, 10th, and 11th, right, then you select all three. That's the difference there. Okay, that's the thing over here. Okay, so that's that. All right, next one. How to avoid procrastination when I know I need to study as well too. Time block, right? It's one thing we teach students a lot as well too. When you time block or create micro deadlines, is the other thing as well too. Because again, if you're gonna procrastinate no matter what. You're not gonna change. By the way, I'm a big procrastinator. I still procrastinate to this day. I don't do something until it's like, hey, it's due today. I'm gonna make sure it gets done today is the thing, right? So create micro deadlines for you. If you know you have a big project, right? Big project, right? Basically split up into like five, six smaller goals, right? And you hit each goal as well too. That's how like project management is. Here's a big goal. Let's split up to smaller things to make sure we hit all of it is the key there. So again, in terms of procrastination, I'd ask you why you're procrastinating is the other thing I'd ask you, right? Think why. Why are you procrastinating? Is the other thing that I'd be asking this to as well too. What are you avoiding? What are you avoiding? As well too, which is that going back to activities again. If you're doing what you enjoy, do what you like, you don't have to procrastinate, right? It's all you only do it if you're trying to avoid something. Is usually the thing here. Okay. Just a heads up, we have a lot of questions still as well. I might not make it to all of it, but I'm gonna save it all. I have like 10 more minutes since people have to head out for today. Just a heads up for anyone who just joined as well too. We're not gonna do this again next week. We used to do it every single week, but because we're entering like essay season for our coaching students, I can't do this every single week. But we'll probably do this once a month as well too. So if you guys are interested, let our team know. They'll connect you next time we have this event as well too. For our coaching families, feel free to join my office hours every Thursday, 5 o'clock. I host the same format over there, but it's private just for our families as well. Okay. Let me see. There's a lot of questions. Let me try to copy a few. One, two, and three over here. Answer. All right. Next one. If you're expecting words senior but not receiving, do you list them? You can, right? You can. And just share that you are expecting the award. The reader will keep that in mind. That's all. That's all too. Next one. What if you wrote your essays and have them edited for someone for grammar, but are coming up 50% written by AI? It's a great question, especially in today's world, right? This is the exact reason why we tell students to write via Google Docs. Why? Let me show you guys something pretty cool. So I'll do a live demo, right? Click here, file, page history. If you see the version history, right? If you look at today, which is today, today's this, right? You see how it literally has a minute. Can I able to show my screen real fast? Those who are here, right? It's a minute, but here's right now. Go back a minute, right? And then it has a minute ago down here, right? A minute ago. It was right there, right? If I go a minute back, these are all 1 minute slots. Is the key as well too. So if you go back a minute, you see that each minute is saved as well too, and you can see that if you piece my minutes together, I'm writing like what handful of words, right? Dozen words maybe, for each thing as well too. That's the thing. If you used AI, right, in 1 minute, boom, 500 words. And again, that's why, again, with Google G Docs, right, it's saved every minute, right? So you can always use this to defend yourself if it comes up. Keep in mind with AI detectors, they're really bad still, is the thing. So I wouldn't stress out too hard right now either. But again, this is the letting honest people be honest, right? Letting honest people be honest as well too. Is that if you did do it correctly, you're fine. There's nothing to stress out about. But if you're trying to cheat the system and try like, how do I get away with it? You're living life in hard mode is pretty much it, right? So I think that's the thing to keep in mind as well too. So again, if you actually did the work, you did everything correctly, and it causes anxiety, you have proof to document to show like, hey, if they call you out, look, I did this, right? Is the key. Next one is having strong activities with majors and senior year 3 AP, 3 dual, 3 part-time good enough. I mentioned a good enough to mention AD, or honestly, is there a red flag? Berkeley. Okay, is having strong activities with a major than senior year with 3 AP, 3 dual enrollment. UC electives, part-time job, 4.0 GPA, good enough to mention ADHD, honest red flag. I don't get the question. A lot of things being thrown, right? Number one, right? Number one, keep in mind the things that I look for. Strong app includes, right? Rigor in grades. So you to mention 3 APs, 3 in dual enrollment. Is that good? I don't know, right? Is that compared to your school? Is that good? Like, are the kids doing more than that? If no, then that's good. If there's kids doing a lot more than that, then maybe not so good if you're aiming for the top schools, right? I want to also, it said ignore GPA, right? Focus on grade trends. Focus on grade trends. I don't know. Some people say 4.0, that means straight A's. Some people say 4.0 is actually B's, but my honors correct gives an A, right? Again, I don't know what GPA, but tell me the grades. The grades will tell me, again, we want strong grades. As many A's as you can is the key, right? Activities, right? Hours of activities. You mentioned you did part-time job all the time. I'd ask you how many hours you spend per week is the thing as well too, because then that depends how many things you're doing there. And the biggest factor, and then ADHD doesn't affect the app, right? Doesn't affect the reader, all right? Like just sharing it, boom, I have ADHD, cool, right? As well too. I feel I have something, right? I don't know what I have, right? Doesn't affect unless you give it context, to context to why it affected you and made you who you are today. Maybe an essay, maybe some other section, the additional comments, right? I think that's it. There's no real red flag. I don't see like a red flag here. But I think the big thing is that's kind of what I'm trying looking for in an app. So hopefully that will kind of answer your question by elimination, right? There. I think for the sake of this call, I'm going to try to run through a few more questions in the chat as well. Can schools on Common App, this one's next. Is it okay? Um, what's a club here? What's considered an award? Do you reckon put in weighted or unweighted? Awesome. Cool. I may not have time for everything else, by the way. But these are the ones I could probably answer real quick. All right. First one. Can schools on campus see how many schools you apply to? Nope, they do not. They only care and look at their own as well too. So that's it, right? Oops. Oh no. Oh no. Right? That's it, right? Next one. Is it fine my personal statement alludes to my activities? It can, but you don't have to, right? Don't have to, right? Keep in mind your activities, usually think of it more like the quantitative side, and your application or like your personal statement, right? Is more the qualitative side of you. So can it? You can, but you have to no, right? What is an award? Outside CSF as award as well too. What's an award? It's however you define as an award as well too. Typically what you see a lot, honor roll is an award. You hear AP distinction is an award as well too. First place in whatever it is, was an award, right? These are like clubs sometimes, right? Some people call them clubs. Some people call them awards too. So these could be awards, right? If you share the context of it. That's it. So again, it can be if you decide to be, could be award, no, an award. Oops. Could be an award. Oops. I don't know. All right. Next one. Do you recommend putting weighted or unweighted GPA? How do college look at if unweighted? You have a B, high GPA. I'm assuming this is the common application, right? So if it's the common application, the UCs, you don't enter the GPA. They'll automatically calculate it on the back end. But for the common app, there's a question that asks you, do you want to do unweighted or weighted? What we tend our students to do, we usually recommend our students to put their weighted GPA that they see that they have proof of. They have proof of, meaning where do you have your usually transcripts, right? Usually transcripts, right? That you can like take that stuff and put it the same thing on the thing. Don't make it up. Don't because they ask you how'd you get this number. You have to be able to prove it somewhere, right? Is the thing. So that's what I would do. I would put the wage in because it's usually higher as well too, unless your weight is lower than use the unweighted. But usually the weighted is higher, so you put the weighted GPA for the common app is the key. Okay. Because then you're still gonna share the grades in the class, so they already know the grades. This is just the GPA number for the common app specifically. Okay. I'll do two more questions. One more. Here's a related one. Here's a related one as well too. If as the option put weighted or unweighted, I would put the 4.29 weighted, right? Again, this is for the common app, not the UC. The UCs will ask for this. Okay. I played competitive volleyball for 5 years and stopped junior year. Does it count somewhere? yes, right, you would count ninth to 10th grade, right? Because you stopped at 11th, you don't count the 11th grade as well too. Share this in the whatever area it is, right? In the extracurriculars, for the UC app, in the or the Common App, there's a sports section, right? On the Common App as well too. You can share that and then kind of what you did as well too. So definitely share that as well too. Don't not share it is the key here. Okay. Next one. What if I have lab one off just as volunteering, shifted on to top the rest? Can I mention stuff like this? Yes, right. You should share everything you did between ninth and 12th grade. One off, share as well too. So if you do something for one time, definitely share that as well. Okay. I already have next question. I already have my PIQ topics. How and where can I show the why us? Because I dug deep and know a lot about useless stuff and collab. Major, I'm listing as well too. Again, right? I would not need to name drop about UCLA staff or research programs because again, that's not you. That's not you, right? So focus. So it's basically in the prompt. You talk about the why. Oh no, so the why. Sorry, UCs don't ask that. Sorry, I get confused. Heads up, FYI, right? The UCs do not ask for a why us. So that's that to answer your question, right? Don't do that. So there's no need to do that. This is more the why us prompt is more for the other schools. The Common App schools is it. Okay? That's it there. Awesome. And then a last thing, where can I get recordings of the previous Mondays? We've been doing, yeah, you guys can see this. We've been doing this for how many? 66 pages long so far. Every week for the last few weeks, I've been doing it nonstop. So many things as well, too. If you guys are interested in the recordings, go ahead and let our team know as well. Um, text our team at 949 775 0865. Just let them know date and like the Coach Tony AMA on dates, right? Whatever date it is, and they'll grab it for you. Is the key as well. They won't give you the notes. That's my notes, but they'll give you the recording. You guys can review that as well too. Okay, so that is pretty much. I think I got most. There's a few questions I missed. Apologies. Come back, ask it again as well next week. Or not next week. I don't know what I'm doing next week as well too. But that's pretty much it for you guys here. A few quick announcements. Before I have to bounce today. Number one, right? Number one, for those who are seniors or anyone else, right? The UC and Common application will drop on August 1st. The new, the new, right? UC app. I'm debating doing a live walkthrough if you guys are interested in that. Let me know. We can do a live walkthrough of the new app and see how it changes for next year. Is it? But for everyone who has poker their own, this Friday, I think, if you're watching this live, this upcoming Friday, the app will be changing. So you guys can go ahead and start kind of plugging it in as well too. That's number one. Number two, this week we have a few awesome trainings. Tomorrow we have a training on the Why Us essay. If you guys want that, again, text our team. They can grab you that for you. On Wednesday, we have a financial aid training. I apologize. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the training top of my head as well too. But we have a financial aid training. Actually, I can look it up real fast. I cannot look it up real fast. Maybe. All right. So if we have financial aid training, I can pull it up. I lied. I lied. Spaces. Nope, I have the wrong thing again. All right, so again, if you guys want to join the stuff, definitely talk to our team. They will help you guys figure out the training topics. But tomorrow's a really good one if you guys are applying. Oh, I lied again. I found it. I found it. All right, so tomorrow we're doing Why Us essays, and then for Wednesday, financial aid prep. So for anyone, things to do before October. So for incoming seniors, this is a good training for you guys as well too. And Thursday, we're doing training for study hacks as well too. How to study harder. How to study smarter as well too. So if you guys are interested in that, we are doing a training this Thursday on his watch us write the why us essay. All right, cool. So that's that. And last thing, a few last things as well too for you guys. We are doing our annual price increase for our coaching programs on August 1st. We've been announcing it every single day for last month. If you guys are interested in talking to us, definitely do so before then, or else new pricing for you guys. We will be releasing our college application workshops for next year, next month, right? So in August as well too. We sold out completely this year, even before the season as well too. So for our not seniors but our juniors now, we're releasing it out so you guys can get dibs for next year, just because we sold out really quick already this year. We want to sell out even faster for next year as well. Someone says, you mean that the UC changed the app? Every August 1st they release a new app, right, for the most current class is the thing. Okay. Boom boom boom, and that's pretty much it for here. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to text me. Text 949-775-0865. Right? That's pretty much it for you guys, from me to you guys. Our next Coach Tony AMA will be in 2 weeks. Will be on the 11th, right? August 11th as well too. So if you guys want to hang out with me there, feel free to hang out in 2 weeks. Text our team for the link. They'll give you the private access link for the next one as well too. But that's pretty much it for me today. Thank you everyone for hanging out. It was a fun session here. I enjoy it when it goes crazy like this. So thank you again. Have a great rest of your July. And I'll see you guys all again in August. Bye everyone.